Holy crap. Man. This is going to be an incredible dinosaur. This is so much better than the photos because I really didn't get scale on this jacket. I was like, oh, okay, it's like an 8-foot jacket. A lot of stuff in it. 18 foot. Wow. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the density of dinosaurs.
I think, if I had to guess, I think this is part of a squamosal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at that piece, it has fused epoccipitals. If you look at this parietal, they're not there.
They're not there, or they're almost like reabsorbed.
Yep.
Well, there's some sutures. I mean, that happens too. Yeah, and so that's one of the diagnostic features of Torosaurus is you have these fenestra, these openings. There's a thinning of the frill, and you'll actually have openings through the parietal between the squamosals and the parietal, and you can clearly see that here. I mean, this is getting down to less than 1/4 of an inch thick, so there would have been a very nice window opening in that frill. So we're looking at the bones of a large horned dinosaur from the Lance. This is a Late Cretaceous dinosaur. We've got the brain case here. So this is the back of the skull, and this occipital condyle is the articulation point for the head to the skeleton. And what Tyler has just set out right here is the fused cervical vertebrae. So this occipital condyle articulates like a trailer ball into a hitch. Just like, well, that's something that's really interesting to look for now, and something you can X-ray or CT. As final preparation gets done on these vertebrae, even if you find a completely healed wound, and there's a big lump of like a bone cyst or something of some kind of pathology, there has been many instances now of a broken tooth tip, embedded in the bone. If you want to restore and mount a dinosaur, you need bones that are going to be able to be displayed in a clutch mount or in a study mount. So they're going to be able to set into receiver clasps on the main armature, but they need to support their weight. So these bones are pretty solid. You're going to have cracks. I mean, very rarely do you find a solid bone that doesn't have any kind of surface cracks like that. So that tells me that these are very structurally sound, and they would be able to be rearticulated into a skeleton and mounted on an armature. Another incredible opportunity that fell in our lap that could potentially be a huge win right out of the gate is this Torosaurus job. I was approached in Tucson by the owners of the property, and they're looking for somebody to build a relationship with long term. So our short-term goals could be met with just this one job. And that's a great place to start. So that would be a huge win. But to do this job and win the relationship and trust of this client would be the ultimate. It'd be a real disappointment, you know, if we don't get the Torosaurus job. That's all right. It's part of the adventure.
It is. That is true. I just wish our adventure season was a little longer.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just wrap my head around this. So what do we have here?
So this is our adult Triceratops skull that was mixed in the same bone layer as TR.
God.
That's a caudal.
Look at that gorgeous vertebrae.
Ilium under there. Acetabulum.
So the acetabulum is the articulation point. The hip is made of three parts. You've got the ilium, the pubis, and the ischium. And the acetabulum is the hole where that giant knob on the end of the femur would articulate into a bunch of connective tissue. And that was the joint of the leg. I mean, I'm sure you appreciate what a once in a lifetime opportunity it is to even be a part of something like this.
Absolutely. I mean, more than
So that's a fun block because it's all just in there to be explored. Which way are we going? Back?
oh, let's flip it back this way.
Okay. Oh man, with the light shining on it. Holy crap. Man, this is going to be an incredible dinosaur. This is so much better than the photos because I really didn't get scale on this jacket. I was like, oh, okay, it's like an 8-foot jacket. A lot of stuff in it. 18 foot. Wow. That's beautiful. Not a whole lot of distortion either in the bones.
No, it's really. I think it was just sandy enough that helped with the action.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the density of dinosaurs. Well, we got, there's a skeleton over here, there's that one over there up the hill. Unbelievable. I'm way more excited about this project now, seeing this jacket. The bone's so nice. The preparation it's a dream. This is as professional as anyone in the business.
This is just field. Those bones are all just field prep. They haven't gone in a blasting box or nothing.
So you got the brow horns, and like Tyler mentioned, they would be maybe a little obtuse, but they would be parallel. And then you'd have the nose horn out here.
And the rostral.
So that would...
There would have been some connecting
Yep.
bones of the premaxillary bones in there.
And that squamosal, they would be framing the parietal, which is the main part of the frill. So, I mean, you really got kind of the whole skull laid out here, what it would generally look like.
I'll show you.
Whoa, I just saw something really cool. Not shaking because I got a huge adrenaline rush right now. Wow. That...
You break it, you buy it.
I don't think I have enough assets. This is really special. Look at the vascularization in the jaw. So the argument that these dinosaurs didn't have lips, I think is kind of ridiculous.
Bone scarring here. This is a healed pathology. And almost every Rex skull has pathologies in it. So face biting was definitely part of Rex behavior.
Oh yeah, there's some gorgeous unerupted teeth coming in. I've heard a lot of different science on the tooth replacement, that it was actually pretty slow.
Yeah. Now look at that tooth there. It's broken off in socket.
So that spalling right there was from an impact biting something. Were there any teeth in the jaws?
Yeah. There's 2 in there, I think.
And unerupted teeth? Oh yeah, I see the 2 teeth.
Yeah, if you look in there.
Oh, okay. Wow. Double. So this, when you think about enamel as the hardest substance in your body and in any animal's body, and what it takes with the bite force of a Tyrannosaurus rex to break and spall a tooth like this is like an Indian napping flint, right? Just flakes shearing off. And this dinosaur continued to use these teeth because you can see the wear facets, and this is smoothing. Dang.
You really see how the other teeth, unerupted teeth, would fit.
So, with most like dinosaurs, like a lot of reptiles, they had this tooth replacement. And as this tooth was damaged, that shock would be transmitted to the nerves and to the connective tissue in the jaw, basically the ligaments and stuff like that, because this tooth is not operating properly. So that's going to activate this germ tooth that's like a little seed in the jaw, and this tooth continues to grow. And as it erupts into the root of this tooth, it starts to dissolve the root. And eventually, there's nothing left to hold this in, just like our teeth when we lose our teeth, and that tooth would fall out. But that articulation there is...
This was likely an unerupted tooth that came out of the jaw.
Oh, man. This is amazing. Okay. Look at that pathology.
Both, see that fenestra above also? I think that's a bite mark that fully punctured the bone and began to heal.
Yeah, because you can see that scarring all the way around. You ever whacked your shin really hard? Okay, and now when you run your fingers over your shin, do you feel that bone scar basically? There's like a bunch of knobs on there. I mean, the same thing. Oh, wow, look at the backside. Looks like a little Hostess donut.
This is kind of typical of marks we leave when we find things. So we start digging way away from the main bone pile, but I mean, this bone 60 feet away from the main bone pile, I mean, it would have never been found without the use of construction.
They're demineralizing the bones, but this is the natural bone texture. I mean, as deep as you found this, there's no root mat on this.
He looked at it and compared it to other Rex specimens. He's certain it's the most complete Rex found in Wyoming in the Lance Formation.
Wow.
It's the third most complete Rex that Black Hills Institute has been a part of working with.
That's a huge gold star. We're looking at the biggest single dinosaur quarry that I've ever laid eyes on for just sheer volume of dirt. I mean, surface area, there's bigger quarries, but we're looking at a giant butte on the edge of this anticline that's gone. They just moved it all off for good reason, because this is all part of the map for this amazing Tyrannosaurus Rex specimen. And as a result of moving that much dirt and being as thorough as they've been, another Triceratops specimen, another Triceratops specimen, and lots of stuff in the overburden that's not even related to the quarry. I mean, that's like, what, 50 vertical feet from here, maybe more? So there's dinosaurs at all these different levels. That's just, it's unbelievable. Because it seems like based on everything you've told me, the dinosaurs distribution up there, down there, over there, if you keep digging, you're just going to keep finding dinosaurs. So is this just like a...
Was a second juvenile Triceratops skull.
Gee.
It wasn't as complete, but it's still a very mountable specimen.
Yeah.
So in total, we found 2 Triceratops skulls and the best Rex skeleton ever found in Wyoming.
Oh.
One dead.
And maybe you've heard this, but the trend of Tyrannosaurus Rex skeletons tends to be in areas of higher concentrations of Triceratops. So, you know, I don't know what the connection is there. I don't think anybody's really tried to draw one, but so far it's just a statistical fact that you find more T-Rex in association with Triceratops than you do with Edmontosaurus.
Yeah, I think you just preyed upon Triceratops more. You look at almost every Triceratops skeleton found, they're really poorly preserved, but you almost always find the skull.
You know, I have this dream that one day we're going to find evidence that you know, of a Triceratops biting a T-Rex. Like, oh, look at this. This is a pre-dinner, like cut in the bone, like just V-shaped damage. That would be so cool because you know it had to happen.
Yeah, and I think some of those healed pathologies could easily be puncture wounds from horns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at Triceratops, and he looks like he evolved solely to defend himself from Tyrannosaurs.
The arms race.
Yep. Your window where you're sitting, and I'm like, there's a dinosaur bone in the road, and it just washed out, and it was bright and shiny.
Oh man.
It was so cool. Yeah.
The Lance, you get a lot more of the prairie sod and the sage and
like this west-facing side of the Mesa Verde, we've hardly looked at all, just because logistically, it'll be a lot harder to dig something out.
Let's go find a dinosaur.
Draw maybe.
Second time of my life hunting dinosaurs in the snow. Kind of looks like a neural canal right there. Wait, right there.
Well, look at this. Look at this bone here. There's a tooth right there, a hadrosaur tooth.
Yeah.
Or is that tendon?
That's tendon.
That's a tooth, I think. Or is that tendon? If that's tendon, this could be a second articulated dinosaur going in. Look at this. Tendon. I think
Yeah.
this. And look at this. This is another articulated dinosaur.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think you're right. That's pelvis. Between his little fin. There's almost a separation right there. Or I don't know. Take a look at this, Tyler. The way that's kind of thick right there, and it almost, I mean, without field prepping, could those two things be connected in the ilium, or do you think there's a separation right there?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd say it's more likely pelvic.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Statistically, it's going to be a hadrosaur. But with the Cosmo and with the other things, there's a high chance it's a crested, a lambeosaurine or a Parasaurolophus. Good job, man.
Oh, this is
Cosmo ceratops, this incredibly ornate horned dinosaur. Frill kind of folded over the epioccipitals, the frill horns, and there's a potential for crested hadrosaurs, maybe something like a Parasaurolophus, something like that. So new Tyrannosaurs, ornithomimids, orniscians, raptors. I mean, it really should all be here in the Mesa Verde. It's just a matter of snow melting and summer rolling around and us getting back out here.